Volunteers in Mission. I again thank you for your patience. And Carl?
If you'd rather we postpone this and do this some other time, we could. I can talk quickly.
I think we're going to do it, Carl. Carl has put together a nice presentation, and I hate to take that away from him. We have time on, you know,
I will talk as fast as I can.
Well, don't rush.
As I'm coming up here to talk about volunteers in mission, as I'm sitting here, it dawns on me that everything you've heard today is volunteers in mission. Whether it's the Hub or Seeds of Hope or whatever. They're all volunteers in mission. And this church is so blessed by people that volunteer their time, they volunteer their faith, offer up prayers and money to support all of these missions. Anyway, volunteers in missions. Really, United Methodist volunteers in mission. It is worldwide. There are mission teams going to every continent. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say every, probably not Antarctica, but most all the continents. Okay? Next slide, Ed. Volunteers in missions all over the United States. All right? There are, just recently, there's a mission team from Nauvoo that went to Maine to help out. Many of us have been to Mississippi. And when we picked this date, August 29th, to do this, back however long ago, it never dawned on me that today is the 5-year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. And I just realized that this week. How awesome is that we picked this date to celebrate missions? And this truly needs to be a celebration. This church does so much. So anyway, missions all over the place. United Methodist Church, VIM, volunteers in mission at the conference level. The conference level, VIM is involved in all the work camps. Like the work camp that built our Friendship Center back here. Like the work camp that last year built most of a church down in Watsontown, Pennsylvania. Nothing happening this summer. But next summer, look for volunteer and mission work camps at different churches around our conference. And we're not talking, as Kay said, it's no longer Central Pennsylvania, it's now Susquehanna Conference. Next slide, Ed, please. Wellsboro District Volunteer Mission. Really, that started with Hurricane Katrina. Okay, when our bishop said, I want every district to make at least one trip down to the Gulf Coast area and try and help those people recover. And 3 times, our district has organized trips to go to Mississippi. Okay, the third trip was just unbelievable. This is a slide or two from that third trip. And I don't know if you remember, we raised enough money to build a whole house. And that's the Wellsboro District, to build a whole house. And then we had people get down and build it. And there's the last group that was there. There were some people who were there the week before and had to come home. But a whole house in 2 weeks. Absolutely awesome to be able to do that. And you folks supported that time and time again as we asked.
What you don't know is that throughout the rest of the Central Pennsylvania Annual Conference at the time, they kept telling us, look what Wellsboro District did. Can you do the same? You were lifted up as a model for what other districts could do.
Okay, Ed. From those 3 mission trips to Mississippi, people that were on the trips kept saying, you know, and actually people in congregations kept saying, you know, it's great to go to Mississippi and help out, but what about our area? What about this area? There's a need here too. And out of that started, really, the district volunteers in mission. And we now have a committee of about 12 people, a lay representative and a pastor representative from each of the clusters. And we meet, and as people bring projects to us, we look at them and say, can we do that? What can we do? And we started doing local projects. Actually, the first one was May a year ago, so it's like 16 months ago. Was the first project we did. But wherever we go now, that sign's out in front of the church. United Methodist Volunteers in Mission at Work, and that's the district office telephone number. That if someone sees it and they need some help, they can call there. Ed, please. This is the first project. Many of you probably remember Bill Baker, who has spoken here on numerous occasions as a lay minister. Okay, in March not this past March, March the year before, his barn burned. Okay, and in May, we went back to help out to build that barn, to rebuild that barn. Keep sliding, and there's several pictures here. Go on. That's Larry Webster. Hard to tell there. He's doing some electrical work for me. Keep going ahead. Okay, look at the walls are going up, the trusses on, and the metal on the roof. Those pieces of metal were really that long. It took that many people to get that up on that roof. But in 3 days, it went from nothing to walls and roof. Yeah, there's still work to do, but just an unbelievable amount of work. Keep going ahead, please. We did quite another project over towards Stony Fork, replacing a bathroom. Slide ahead. Keep going. Keep going, please. Keep going. Oh, okay. A bathroom. It was for a lady who just needed some help. Okay, she's about ready to fall through the floor of the bathroom. All right? This is a project over in Sweden Valley. It's hard to imagine our district goes, the whole way to Caldersport. Okay, and also the whole way over to London. It's a big district, and we're finding projects all over the place. This is a project over in Sweden Valley. Just an unbelievable house to work on. And we were able to rip off the old siding, put insulation on the outside, house wrap around it, and then vinyl siding on it. Go ahead, Ed. I think there's one more of this place. Well, no, not that. Then just this past May, okay, we did a tremendous job over at Niles Valley. And that's Niles Valley Methodist Church. And it's the back half that we're working on. Somewhere down the line, we'll probably end up working on the front part. But just a tremendous project in replacing their shingles on their roof. On the Saturday of that project, we had 40 people there working. Just amazing, the number of people that volunteer and come out. It is truly a celebration. Okay? One more slide, please. Okay? Go on. And this is our most recent project that we're working on. It's a house out towards Little Marsh. And you just can't believe the condition of it. We'll take that up later. But we've replaced 7 windows, put in 2 doors, redone the whole outside, insulation, vinyl siding, softened fascia. We're now working on the inside, getting some sheetrock installed. Just a tremendous amount of work. Platforms, and you look up, that door is pretty far up there. Okay? New decks, not brand new decks, but out of treated lumber that was donated. Unbelievable amount of donations have come in. Let's go through several slides here. For almost 2 years, this lady lived in this house with no toilet. She was using that outhouse. And we now have that hooked up. That's all taken care of. Keep going ahead. Another one, please. One more. That's up there a ways. And just amazing the steps that have been done there. Keep going ahead, please. Again. And again. And we stop there. All those projects I mentioned, there have been several others. The work that's been done is really not that important. Our task in every one of these projects may be to replace a floor, put siding on a house, help roof a barn or roof a church or whatever. That's our task. But that's not the purpose of Volunteers in Mission. The purpose is to spread God's love. To let every one of these people that we've worked for know that they aren't forgotten. Know that there is help out there. And let them know that people love them, that God loves them. That's the purpose of all this. So all those projects, all that stuff I went through, that doesn't matter. What really matters is Linda Washington, down in Katrina, down in Mississippi, who lived in a damaged house for almost 3 years until they could find someone who would demolish the old house and build a new one. Linda Washington, who on that day, as we were sort of saying goodbye, sat on the porch and said, she didn't actually say, she started singing a song her mother taught her. Only believe. All things are possible if you only believe. So it's about Linda Washington. That's it. It's about the lady that this roof job was done for. Judy lives over in Gaines. Keith Dill will tell you she's a wonderful woman who's touching a lot of lives in the Tioga County prisons as she ministers to those inmates. It's about this next person. It's about the Baker family. Okay? Bill and Marty and their mother and their families, as we were able to help them. You know, it's about sharing that love with those folks. And it's about the people of Niles Valley. The guy I was coordinating with over there, every time I talk to him, he says, they're still talking about it. The people in the church are still talking about that project. And they can't wait for us to come back and do the rest of the church. But they're still talking about it. It's a celebration, folks. It's about this guy. That's Jim Harvey. And he's always smiling like that. That's a guy over in Sweden Valley. Lived there all his life. Took a job in somewhere near D.C. Moved back because his parents were both elderly, both in poor health. His wife has MS and is bedridden. Moved back and needed some help with his house. In the time that we were fixing the outside of that house, both of his parents passed away. I never saw him when he wasn't smiling, because he knew the love of God. And he knew God's people were surrounding him and helping him and willing to share it. I'm telling you, Jim was always smiling like that. And we were working over there in the dead of winter, and it was cold. But there was something warm in his heart. Ed? It's about the young guy in the picture. Braden. Comes with his grandmother up to Bev's to work. Yeah, he plays around a lot. But I'll tell you what, if you need something, he'll help you. He'll run and go get it. He's learning early that you need to give back. It's about the other two gentlemen there. They're in rehab at a substance abuse center in Westfield called Seabrook House. And they came to work at the house. They came to give back. And we were able to share with them why we were doing it. And that's why you people are doing this. You know, and you're able to share with them that it's good to be able to give back. It's what we're expected to do. And lastly, it's about Bev. And that's Bev's house we're working on up in Little Marsh. I'm not sure I've ever met a kinder person than Bev. Never a bad word to say about anything or anybody. Scared the heck out of my wife and Kay one day. We're up there working and there's a bat inside the house flying around. And they're ducking and screaming, get that bat out of here, and Bev's worried about don't hurt the bat. She's trying to use this broom to get the bat onto the broom so she can take it outside and let it go. I'm telling you, she has a heart of gold. But she just needed some help. She needed to feel the presence of God's people. And we're doing that. We really are. And it truly is a celebration. It truly is. One day, I don't even remember which part of the house we were working on, but Eva was standing there, and she said, you know, she said, I've been to a lot of churches. I've, experimented with several religions, or different denominations. And she said, but you're the first people that do what you say you're going to do. I was crying. That's what we're called to do, folks. It's just plain and simple. That's what we're called to do. And you are doing it. you are doing. You're doing it by supporting Seeds of Hope and the food pantry and every one of these missions. And we do need to celebrate. We do need to celebrate. And thank you so much. Please keep up volunteering and keep giving your money those who can. And keep praying.